The Amazing Digital Circus is a bad show for bad people. I know this is a bold statement to make for such a beloved piece of pop culture, but I'm going to defend it. I'll start by addressing my belief that the show appeals to bad people. I feel it's important to mention some of the bizarre and disgusting, abhorrent, and bigoted things that Gooseworx and other collaborators have said online, but I will not dive into it here, as it has already been covered quite well by other creators. If you feel some type of way about it, I can't change your mind and cry harder, but minorities do not have to forgive someone. Ever. Gooseworx and Michael Kovac are not entitled to any kind of forgiveness. If you haven't heard about this, I can link to some great videos that discuss the negative experience of being the Amazing Digital Circus fan from a black and, let's be real, any kind of perspective that's not the white fan base that hasn't been alienated. Personally, while this does need to be talked about, I really think there are more important things going on that deserve more attention, like the multiple genocides occurring against indigenous people across the world, like in Palestine and Sudan. It's horrifying that multiple genocides, just one is too much. If you want to know more about some of these, I linked to some news articles and Palestinian creators on my community tab. So please show all of these people some love. Check the description if you want a link. If you're still watching, I am going to sound very sardonic with what I am about to say. The Amazing Digital Circus is a TV show. Yes, it does not exist to make people happy. Obviously, it exists to make money. Glitch is a company that sells merchandise. The Amazing Digital Circus is marketable. We have a so-called suicide allegory and abstraction meant to be taken seriously, but what's the point of that when they sell merchandise of all the characters half abstracted? You can tell a serious story and you can even sell merchandise, but there comes a point that the ulterior motive will intersect and make that serious story feel like a waste of time at best. And at worst? Well, that's when you have a show like The Amazing Digital Circus. What even is this show? A story about mental health. From the start, the fragility of ego and mental health is made a focal point. When you lose yourself, you abstract. Fear, depression, and isolation will cause you to abstract. Gangle, Kinger, Pomni, and, in hindsight, even Jax are all scared. Zubul, I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure they were scared too. Nobody wants to be trapped here. Nobody wants to be pushed around, feeling unwanted. The show sets up a main conflict that Pomni and the others will have to overcome their mental health problems to be in a better position by the end. And they do. By the end of the show, the cast are able to live in harmony with the world around them, befriend Kane, and all of them live happily. So what's the problem? What's the so-called ulterior motive? It's normalizing the behavior that causes abstraction. In the end, nobody pays for causing others to abstract. No one has to say sorry to get their happy ending. Jax doesn't seem to be in pain. We saw when Jax almost abstracted in episode, was it episode 7? Yeah, it was episode 7. Abstraction looks like a happy process, like almost euphoric, like you're at peace, you're with your friends. So, I mean, you just get to do that to people and then screw off and abstract, and then you're just... I mean... Kane doesn't have to apologize, but he's an AI. I don't care what Kane does. I mean, if you know me, I love Mega Man. I love robot and AI stories. But Kane might not even be sentient for all we know. This is a more grounded story. Kane's probably just another LLM that hallucinates. He doesn't have sentience. But there were real people in the circus. Kaufmo, Ribbit, Gangle, who abstracted or would have abstracted due to the abuse of the human characters, Why does Kane have to apologize for the damage he's done when Pomni, the main character, has been enabling Jax this whole show? When Jax didn't have to apologize for the people he killed? Is this some kind of allegory for hating the system and not the individual? Sorry, sweetie. Individuals still reinforce the system. The system doesn't exist if we as individuals don't enforce it. I don't know if Goose is just a bad writer or if she wanted to exonerate bullies like Jax and the people who enable them. And the whole, we've all done bad things. I don't even know where to begin with this one. That is such a vague statement. The nicest person in the world has done bad things, but pushing your friends to the point of death is crazy. Okay, what are the bad things that those friends did? What was the worst thing that Ribbit did? Yell at Jax? Poor sweet baby Jax needs to be coddled. Jax has shoved people into air fryers and isolated people until they abstract. Which this show acts like this is this universe's equivalent to suicide, may I remind you. Hey, did you know that Jax is Goose's self-insert? Yeah, it makes sense that someone with a history like this would write a apologia for herself. So, instead of apologizing for the bad things we've done, we can just say, we've all done bad things, when all is said and done. Well, I refuse. What kind of society are we going to have when nobody has the sincerity to express that they are truly sorry for what they did? To anyone I have ever hurt, I am genuinely sorry. Isn't that better than, ooh, feel bad for me. I was abusive and pushed people to their death, but now I'm dead too. Ooh. And yes, that is sad on a universal human level. I cried when I watched the finale. But why are we focusing on and humanizing the abuser? Like, I've known so many abusers. I was abused. Why are we getting a story like that? And Jax doesn't even have to say sorry. I mean, I keep seeing people say that they want Jax to come back from abstraction. I want to see Ribbit come back from abstraction. Like, what about the people he pushed to suicide? I want to see Kaufmo come back. Or I at least want to see Jax say sorry. Like, what if Jax said sorry in the finale? Like, I'm sorry for all the bad things I've done. But no, doesn't have to. Or Pomni. Why didn't Pomni ever apologize to Gangle for never telling Jax off for bullying her? Or just stand up for her at all? What kind of person writes a show like this and pushes these morals? To kids! Gooseworx and Glitch know their audience. Growing up, I always wondered why everyone, kids and adults alike, were so nasty and cruel. Now I have the cognitive ability to realize it's because of media like this. Media that reinforces the idea that you can be a nasty person, but because you have a crybaby backstory, people should feel sorry for you. And you should feel sorry for yourself. Well, I have a message for y'all. Quit feeling sorry for yourself and start rebuilding. For every wrong you've done, do a kind deed and bring happiness to the life of others. Treat yourself better because you won't be able to treat others well if you can't even do that for yourself. Don't be a Jax and don't surround yourself with people like Pomni, people who enable you and let you bully others. Anyways, I think this show is genuinely harmful, and I am worried about the effect it will have on society. American society is already cruel enough as it is, so I'm terrified to see that behavior become more normalized in other countries. Thanks, Goose. Very cool of you for... Thanks, Goose. Very cool of you to do that for us.